Guys, this is February 2nd. Welcome everybody to the Q&A with Erik Timmermans. Of course, a TRIA event. I'll go to the TRIA calendar here in a second. But this is for entertainment purposes only. This is my ideas. These are my views on the real estate market, where I think the real estate market is going. So please make sure that if you do want to buy or anything, that you do know that nor TRIA or I endorse it. Do your own research. Talking about TRIA, this is the Q&A, and as you can see here, let me put this back. As you can see here, guys, we have a lot of events. What I want to point your attention to is the vendor fair. If you are a company and you're looking for clients, you can register under vendor fair. Vendor only registration. And if you want to attend, if you're looking for contractors, CPAs, builders, HVAC guys, flooring guys, I don't know who else signed up, but there's a lot of other people, then come join us. Members join for free, of course. Anyway, let's go start talk about the housing market. I mean, the president is giving me a full-time job trying to keep up with everything that is going on, and it is exciting. Let me let two more guests in. Here we go. So what I want to talk about is how did we close out the year? The data is, we are in this meetup, we are always a month behind. The reason I say that is data from previous months is normally released around the 24th until the 28th. So data from the final data from 2025 just came out. And actually, we did better than I anticipated. I thought that 2025 we would end up with a house total units sold nationwide of 4.1 million, and because of the very strong fall, which was it's not normal, but hey, the market hasn't been normal for a long time. But because of the strong market, as you can see here, where it says the month of supply went up, but there was a stat that I wanted to show you where the bulk, no, I don't have it yet, but the bulk of the transactions really came in by the end of the year. There was a big push. The home sales in the last few months were tremendously up. Now, going into the new year, unfortunately, we are trending 5.5% down. It's 4% down for the south currently. Latest data shows that we are at 5.5% down. This report from the NAR was generated a little bit earlier. So the beginning of the year, we're starting off slow. But as you can see, North Carolina, we are considered the south, and with that, we are a month-over-month decline. So we're coming off a super high, and we're kind of dipping down here month-over-month by 5.5%. That has a few reasons. You see that a lot of buyers are pulling their homes off the market. So you also see that in December, you see that we are at an all-time high with new listings being pulled from the market. And that means that sellers are just getting, they just don't want to wait anymore. And what they're doing is they're pulling their listing off the market and having that listing reset. So I assume that coming February, and we're seeing the February data, that we see a tremendous spike in the new listings coming to the market. New listings are already higher than normal, but with the highest numbers of units that we have been pulling off the market in the last, this is the highest number in the last 2 years. The amount of houses we have pulled off the market. Interest rates are trending up, and so do tariffs. As you guys know, tariffs or interest rates follow the long-term interest rates, or the 10-year treasury. As you can see, the 10-year treasury went up. Now, January 16th, we all know what happened on January 16th. January 16th, Trump was in Switzerland, and or around that time, around between here and there, he was in Switzerland and announced that he was going to go and get Greenland. But he also had tariffs on some of the NATO countries that are allies of ours, and that really didn't help mortgage rates. So we saw that before this spike, interest rates were incredibly low. Interest rates were at 6.0, and that's also what drove the market by the end of the year. So this is not political. I'm not biased to any president. As a matter of fact, I think having two parties to choose from, being from Amsterdam, where we have 18 parties to choose from, I think is a little bit of a crazy idea that you can only choose two parties. So I don't want to make it political, but I just wish that the president would keep it to himself sometimes, because I really think if we want to have affordability, and we want to have affordability back in the market, that the rumors about Greenland, about tariffs, we have seen it last year. The beginning of the year, we were almost at 7% last year, and because there were a lot of rumors about tariffs and tariffs implementation and all of that stuff. The market doesn't like it. The impact is not as negative as people spoke about. We haven't seen a super high inflation because of tariffs, so all of those rumors were wrong. But the market doesn't like when we're going to be playing around with friends of ours and starting to threaten them. Anyway, the other news that I wanted to share is that Trump, as you can see, for us investors, Trump said that he's going to ban the investment of large investors. That hasn't been put in play yet. And if you really read the fine line, Trump is going to eliminate that investors can use Fannie Mac and Freddie Mae funding for their rental portfolio. The build to rent is not impacted by this, so it's not official yet. It's an idea that has to be pushed through. I'm curious to see what the final print is going to be of that regulation. Do I think it is good? I forgot the number, and I should have had the number, so I apologize for that. But investors definitely in 2025 were almost the majority of the purchases in 25. So if you would have taken investors away from the equation, then you could have argued that last year would have been even a worse market than it was in 2008. I do also think that investors keep mortgage rates lower the more competition there is. Mortgage rates, I mean rental rates. The more there is, the lower the rents are, and an affordability right now for the Americans is at an all-time high, although it is trending down. Then I want to talk about the 401k investing. Other than if you're an investor, but for home buyers, using your 401k to purchase homes is not a good idea, because we as investors see it as an investment property, and we might sell it, we might 1031 it. But if you're a home buyer, home buyers on average move every 7 years. That means that if I use my 401k and I buy a house for $250,000, and then my value goes up, I buy a bigger house, I have a larger down payment, and so on and so on. That means when it's your time to retire and you have nothing in your 401k, you have to sell your house to get retirement money if the market doesn't collapse. So I like that he's thinking outside the box. I personally, I do think that your 401k should always be available for you. That there should never be a penalty for that. But I just don't think that you should use it to buy a house. Other than investors use their money differently. 50-year mortgage. Anyway, I don't. A lot of people have already spoken about that. I'm not going to waste any energy on that. Then the last thing I have always said, guys, I've always said that I predicted the market until May of this year. Why did I say that? Because I knew. We all knew, that's not a secret, but we all knew that Powell was going to be booted out of the Fed's chair. And as of last week, Kevin Warsh was appointed or was pushed to the front by Trump as the future Fed chair. Kevin wants to lower interest rates. How he is going to do that, I don't know. Since September of 2024, we have seen that if the Fed lowers short-term mortgage rates, that the long-term mortgage rates go up. So I'm not sure. I hope he has something and that he can create some affordability. But in the last 16 to 18 months, we have seen that anytime the Fed lowers interest rates, mortgage rates spike, or the 10-year Treasury goes up. Let me see here. I got this from my realtor, Lisa Coleman, a really good realtor. I think she's on the call as well. So if you want to get her contact details, but so put it in the chat. But anyway, the markets are still looking up. Raleigh is still looking up. Raleigh is seeing still an increase in price as well. Over 5% in Raleigh, an increase in price. Inventory is rising, but inventory is still below 6 months. 6 months is kind of, you don't want to go over 6 months. We're at 4.1 right now. Anyway, the Wilmington area, this remains a good area. And for those that were not aware, I want to point out here a few data points. I talked about new listings going up, and here you see the real listings are already creeping up to an all-time high. So they're going up and up and up. People again resetting their listing, wanting to they're getting unrestless. So what they're doing is they're taking the listing 30 days off the market. If you take your listing 30 days off the market and you put it back on the market on day 30, on the 31st day, that means the days on the market look like zero again, look like a new listing. Where are my pictures here? Here you go. The data that I already showed you here, and there was some other data here that I wanted to show you. Oh, and here is the same thing. Just real listings are starting to trend up. What I'm anticipating, if you could see here on my pictures as well, if you haven't seen it already, but I'm doing an open house, and what is pointing out at this open house? February 7th, February 7th, another house, and so. I always say, or data always shows that after the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl's on the 8th, but after the Super Bowl, you see that transactions are starting to slowly increase here. Last thing, and then I'll open it up for your questions. So if you have questions, put them in the question in the mark. If I always have, I kept saying last year to you all, if it's hard to buy, it's easy to sell. If it's easy to buy, it's hard to sell. What I want to point out with that is, like, I had my lender appreciation dinner last week. And what we did for that is we took a really hard dive into the real estate market. What is going on? What should my investors know? Is their money secured? And a very interesting thing that not in all neighborhoods. So I want to make sure that you don't hear this as this is all over Raleigh, but in certain neighborhoods, definitely there are neighborhoods where prices are close to $1 million or going over. The appraised value is still going up. What do I mean with that? I have a project on 301 Biggest Street. You guys have seen it. We're gonna on the 21st of February. If you want to join me, I'm doing a show and tell there. I'll just give you all the ins and outs about building. But that property, when I purchased it, the property was appraised for an after value. Just so after I was done with building, the property was appraised for $339 per square feet. We got it reappraised, and now it got appraised for a little over $550 per square feet. Because what is happening in these very older established neighborhoods, investors like myself, other investors are coming in, and these older homes that you can't restore anymore are being torn down, and a new home is built, and that is driving up the square foot prices. An appraiser can only look at the sold comps, cannot look at the comps that are on the market. So that's when I bought it, it was appraised for $399 per square feet. And now the sold comps in that area have say, hey, I can sell for $550 a square feet. And if you're looking what is on the market is even in the 600s. So if you are in areas where you are pushing up the square foot price, make sure that you really take a good look at how you underwrite your deals. I always look at 3 properties that I've sold, and I'm looking at 3 properties that are on the market. I add them all up all together, all the square foot I added up together, and I get an average square foot price. I understand that's not how an appraisal is doing it. An appraiser has to factor in certain things. But if you're staying within 10% difference of your subject property, and you're looking at 3 properties that have sold and 3 that are on the market, I think you get a more realistic idea of what your property potentially can sell for. So take that in consideration, and make sure that you take in consideration that you really. I put another deal on the contract on Friday, and my agent is getting text messages from other agents. If your client doesn't take the deal, please let us know, because we will buy it from him. Those are the deals I want to have. Those are the deals I know. I'm going to put a $2.2 million product on that land, but I also know that, hey, I'm in the right area. I'm a little nervous, and that's why I'm confessing this to you, because again, if I'm looking at that square foot price, I'm like, how are we even going to get there? How are we able to reach that? But I gotta trust that the price is going to go up, and prices that are on the market are already listed for higher than what we are calculating our after value is. Hope that makes sense. I know I always tell you guys a lot of information in the first 15 minutes. The next hour, 1.5 hours, or as long as we stay on here, is for you guys. So fire away with question. But my prediction for this year is that we will be seeing high interest rates, or interest rates in the high 5s, low 6s. My hope is really that we're not messing too much with the short-term interest rates, so that otherwise the long-term interest rate is going to impact. Because if you impact short-term borrowing, that means inflation going to go up. If inflation goes up, the 10-year treasury goes up, and it just means that it becomes harder and more difficult. So I really hope that Kevin Wars, maybe the new Fed chair, will come up with a solution that we haven't thought about. And be careful with rents. Rents are slightly up, but are still trending down. So year over year they're up, but month over month they're 1.4% down. And and this is why I wanted to show you Facebook. Know what is going on in your neighborhood. So I shared my Facebook, but I wanted to share somebody else's Facebook. So if you're a builder, are you guys seeing my Facebook? No, it says, oh, there it is. My computer a little slow. I should stop paying my computer by the hour, because it's just very slow. So one of the board members of TRIA, Matt Zelensky, shared this article with everybody on Facebook. What does this mean? This is a picture of Durham, and Durham, just out of the blue, without letting anybody know, said, you cannot tap into new sewer. You cannot tap into the sewer line anymore. So yes, this issue happens in California. This issue is happening in a lot of places where they are allowing ADU, or new neighborhoods. Yeah, Marty, this is not good news. So all of a sudden, without any notice, builders are getting a message: hey, your new neighborhood, you're unable to tap that into the sewer system. You're not allowed to tap that anymore. And I think it is until 2020 or 2030. I thought that was 2029, 2000. So for the next 4 years, builders are going to have sitting on their hands. Now, what's the good news for you and I? That means in East, so this is East Durham. We're looking at the map of East Durham, right? This is the Durham Freeway coming in over here. This is 85, the new connection over here. So you're looking at East Durham. This is Alston Street, if you're familiar with that. So what you're looking at is in East Durham, the competition for new homes is going to rise. So new homes might be selling for more in the future. Secondly, there will be more flips going on than there are new builds, or people are just going to sit on their portfolio a little bit longer and keep it as a rental. make sure that when you do stuff in your area, that you always know the local data. Nobody saw this coming. This was a surprise to everybody. But that's also why if you go into real estate, you always have two solutions. You don't always count on one. You have a backup solution. I have a few projects in that area. One that I just finished. Luckily, it's on the other side of the Olsen, and luckily my projects are not impacted. But I could have kept those properties as a rental as well. So make sure when you do stuff that you have it as a backup. All right. So Neil is asking, why do you think home sales after the Super Bowl? Why do I think that home sale numbers are increasing after the Super Bowl? I mean, I had a lot of showings before the snow, but so it's weather related, right? Because due to the snow for the last, what is it now, the second weekend that we had snow, and I think on Thursday we're predicting, of Wednesday or Thursday we're predicting another storm to come through. Anyway, so it's weather related. We hopefully we see some better weather coming up, and yeah, I don't know if there's any other reasons than people are just sick and tired with the winter and are getting ready for just getting do new home builds. So yeah, I don't know if anybody, Lisa or anybody else has more data around it, but it's just the start of the new season, and then you spike up. People are getting ready for the new school season, and you spike up, and it kind of slows down in June and July. You have August, and then it spikes up by the end of the year. That is just a normal market, but we hadn't had a normal market since 2019. A lot of data analysts defer back to 2019 when they do that. So yeah. Brad McRae says no new water and sewer taps in all of Durham. No, just East Durham. Sorry, Brad. Only East Durham. Only that map that I showed you. So only East Durham. And then go to Matt Zelensky's Facebook page if you want to have that map. But it's East Durham only. Where can I find this article? I just said, yeah, this is on Matt Zelensky's Facebook page. Tiffany says, what is the best way to research for submarkets? How do you find a good place to build? I got this question last night from somebody that is going to Orlando, as he lives here in North Carolina. So I said, look at the building permits. What are the new building permits that are issued in that area? Look at unemployment rate. What is the unemployment rate? And know the economic data. How many people are moving into that area? One of my articles on Facebook showed that North Carolina is the number 3rd place in the nation. Now I forgot. I think South Carolina. There's one other state that beat us. So we got beat by two states. We have a 7.5% increase in new people in the state. The majority, of course, coming from New Jersey. But know your economic data. What is going on there? Is it growing? Is it retracting? Right, like California and New York have been losing people year over year. Do you want to invest in those markets? You might want to be more careful there. Of course, there's still people that want to live there, but you need to know the economic data. What I always do, and I do this on every call, so the people that are with me for a while are getting sick and tired of this, but you just do realtor. You just go to realtor, or I think it's Redfin. Nope, hold on. Redfin and realtor data, and here you can find what I look at is medium sales price. Really doesn't mean anything to me because it takes in consideration the lowest and the highest and finds the median. But if I want to look at the data, I'm looking at homes sold, and year over year in Raleigh, homes sold is up by 22.2% in Raleigh. So that is not Cary, not Apex, just the Raleigh area, and you want to trend it up. I hate what I'm doing now, but I've been warning people a little bit for this market. And Rocky Mount, by the way, is in the top list in North Carolina of declining prices. So I'll show you that here in a second as well. But homes sold as well. The trend keeps going down. 24, we had the highest peak, and since then, the pending home sales are trending down. So that's why this is a market I'm very, very careful of. As a matter of fact, I have not purchased anything anymore in this market since 2024 because I have been struggling here as well. Another market that I used to be in, and I'm currently selling, it might not be a good marketing pitch, but I'm currently selling 21 homes in this area, is Rocky Mount. Again, the home prices are trending down. You had a big spike in May, but ever since we're trending down, and year over year, the home price or the number of homes sold year over year is down by 8.3%. Those are some of the indicators that I look at, and yeah, something that I take in consideration. But you also want to make sure that you know the unemployment data or the employment data for that area. So anyway, I'm not sure if that answers your question, Tiffany. Joshua, however, if I already have the project in permit, yeah, correct. Joshua says if you are in East Durham and you have a project that was approved, you are good to go. But make sure you are very careful about new projects there. Joshua is asking, are you mainly focusing on higher end build luxury flips? Yes. So I follow a guy on Facebook, and I shared his article with him as well on my Facebook. He is saying that luxury homes are up by nationwide by 37.6%. I couldn't find the article. I have tried to search for it, so I cannot verify this data. He does do a lot of daily news shows, and I watch him, and he is normally right. But yes, I am only focused, or majority of my homes are focusing on the higher end build. Yeah, that is. I have a few townhomes that I'm doing, but I want to have. There's one thing that I've been doing. I normally. Now I'm going to show you really in the kitchen, and Brett Ransom is on here. He's a big builder in Raleigh as well, so he's a good friend of mine. But let me Raleigh South project. He knows about this as well. Downtown South. So let me pull up a map for those that are realtors, wholesalers. They know it already from me. But I don't buy south of MLK. That's where I am, in Fuquay, the center of the universe. But this is Raleigh. So for me, I don't purchase south of MLK. Oh, maybe
we can't see you.
We can't see.
Yeah, exactly. I was just testing you guys, make sure that you guys were actually going to pay, that you're still paying attention. Anyway, so I don't buy south of MLK, nor do I buy east of Raleigh Boulevard, and I do not go over 440. So I stay kind of in this vicinity over here. It's very, very niched. So good luck trying to sell me something. There's one project that I am under contract on. It's a challenge to get over the finish line, but we will get it. And that is 702 Breck Street. As you can see, it is south of MLK. Why am I considering this? Because Raleigh South, Raleigh Downtown South, it includes a soccer stadium, 136,000 square feet of retail space, hotels, and anything. Raleigh South might have gotten some new light due to a Cary soccer club. There's not a lot of information on it, but Raleigh South should be developing another downtown Raleigh here. So you're talking about North Hills, another North Hills coming down here, even bigger than that. The soccer stadium and anything. So the reason I'm looking to purchase Breck Street, I'm looking to close on it, is I like to keep it as my rental portfolio, because I can keep it as a rental. Again, I can sell it or as a rental. You have two options. You need to always have two options. And if this project takes off and kicks off, and I know it's in the works for a long time, so we've been trying to be patient with them. But if this project kicks off, then I am in an ideal location between the historic downtown, historic Oakwood or downtown Raleigh, and a new downtown. And then this property will sell very quick. So if I go and step slightly outside my comfort zone, I know why, and I have a very good reason for that, if that makes sense.
So Erik, does the Greenway tour that's on Bragg Street go down that far?
What do you mean?
Well, right there on Bragg Street, there's the Greenway.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
You mean this one?
You're not sharing again.
Ah. Sorry.
I just don't know how far it goes south.
So here, you mean the little walk trail?
Sorry, I can't see.
Right there.
I don't know. So okay. So if you go farther left, where my property is on Bragg,
right here.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Greenway.
Yeah. So it's the same Greenway. And one of the reasons that I'm struggling to close this one is because apparently my property here, which is literally here, where you see this this thing here, is a Greenway easement, and the lender wants to make sure that we verify that through permits. So that's what we're trying to verify right now. Yeah.
Oh, didn't realize that Greenway went over there too.
Yeah, yeah. So anytime a lender is challenging you on your closing, guys, it's been incredibly frustrating. I've been trying to sell a property since October, and he's been struggling getting it closed. We're at the closing table now. I've been trying to refinance DSCR loans, but anytime a lender is challenging you, always try to think about what are they trying to protect me from, and just take that in consideration as well. Raj is asking, what are your thoughts on apartment buildings in Fayetteville? So back in, Raj, I don't know if it was October or September, I shared with you that 8,500 troops were moving from Texas to the Fayetteville base, or I don't know if they changed it back to Fort Bragg or if it's still Fort Liberty. Yeah, the apartment buildings. I don't like apartment buildings. Apartment buildings are a little bit operators got a cheap loan during COVID, and then they had a balloon payment, and the balloon payment in the last 2 years have come due. So apartments are a little bit under scrutiny lately. So if you want to pick up a deal, you can.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at, because all of these apartment builders, like, they just went belly up, their balloons due, and
yeah. So you can get a really good deal.
Yeah. Okay.
But what I would be careful with is that I would not underwrite an apartment deal. Apartments are you offer based on income. I would not underwrite an apartment deal anticipating the rents to go up. I would make sure that you at least make sure that the rents are here to stay and slightly adjust. Because if they do go up, it is a win for you. If they don't, you already underwrite your deal that way.
So just underwrite conservatively, basically.
Underwrite conservative. In my new builds, and people know this, but I'm a new builds. I don't do a new build if I don't have a 30% profit margin or a profit margin that's larger than 100K. I'll walk away from 90K profit. I just don't do it. It evaporates. Like, you gotta be conservative, and I underwrite my new builds at least, although that we sometimes can build within the 6 to 10 months. I underwrite them that they will last at least a year.
Okay.
I rather aim high for my cost, low for my ARV, and if I still make money in that occasion, I'm definitely gonna make money if my costs are low and my ARV is high, right? Like, I'm trying to convince myself. I almost lost my business because I tried to convince myself that every deal was a good deal.
Right. Yeah.
And now I'm making the most money I have ever made trying to convince myself that every deal is a shit deal.
Okay.
Right? Like, just try to convince yourself not to do it. And if you cannot find a reason not to do it, you should be doing it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Awesome. Tori, what is your take on with the real estate considering the latest round of QE? What do you mean with that, Tori? Tori, you're on mute. I don't know what he means with QE. If anybody else knows, let me know. We have shifted our focus from smaller lots and focus more. Yeah.
Quantitative easing.
Oh, quantitative. Yeah. So again, thank you for that. Quantitative easing. Yeah. So I don't know what they're gonna do. Quantitative easing can be good for the housing market. Can be good for a lot of things. But if that is the only way we're gonna buy back securities or pump more money in it, I'm not sure if that is the only solution, right? Like, since that has happening, we have seen rates creeping up. So the investor doesn't like it, and the investor that is buying the 10-year treasury needs to know, like, hey, can I trust the economy? So if it's the quantitative easing or the rumors about Greenland and the tariffs that is driving investors away from buying tariffs, I'm not sure. I think quantitative easing is always good as long as it is in proportion. We have seen it a lot during COVID, and then we bought, the government bought everything up, and did a lot there. Yeah, I think you said in the right. You can send the right signal, but if you're doing too much, you can drive short-term rates down again, which means long-term rates go up. I'm not sure, Tori, if there's an answer to your question. There
Yeah,
he is.
that works. And I put some more info down there.
No. Do I need to scroll down? Oh yeah. The Fed will buy 40 million treasuries as a month before tapping off in the spring. Yeah, I don't know if so I don't know what Kevin is going to do, because you're Kevin, the new Fed chair, right? You say quantitative easing will be tapped off in the spring, but he is if he gets the job, I think he needs to be voted in officially, right? That is, the president cannot appoint him because he is not tied to the president. I don't know how that exactly works. I should know, but I don't know what Kevin is going to do to continue to drive interest rates down. So I overall, I think it can be advantageous for quantitative easing. I'm with too much quantitative easing, I'm always worried about the short-term impact on the short-term rates rather than long-term rates. All right, let's continue. The questions go back up again. We have shifted our focus to small lots. Would you 1,800 square feet homes? Yeah, would you say that can work, Joshua? Square feet homes. Data shows that people are looking for smaller homes to overcome affordability. So you either have a strategy that you focus on an entry-level product in the $1 million range, and like the products that I am putting on the market are 1.2 million and higher. But for the markets that I'm in, they are considered an entry-level product.
Okay, so now I have a second part to that question.
Yeah.
Would you focus? I know rentals aren't really hot right now, but like the renting space near college campuses, where I have a deal near NC State where I can buy the land for, what is it? I think it's like $1 million, and I can put 4 houses up there, 12 bedrooms each, and rent the bedrooms over there for $1,200 for the school year each. Is that would you focus on that? And something like UNC Chapel Hill, where they're adding 10% new students over the next 5 years.
So is it Raleigh or Chapel Hill? Sorry, did you say NC
Both.
State? Oh,
NC
both.
State
Okay.
and Chapel Hill. I'm looking at both. The one in
Yeah.
Chapel Hill, there's an 89 unit apartment complex that we're looking to do a value add over there and put students out there. But I also know the rental space is not that hot or anything like that. So I was looking for an opinion on that.
So Brad, who I already referenced on this call, Ransom, and I had a discussion last year that how the townhome market, if you're doing townhomes, meaning a condominium where you basically say, hey, I put one house on one lot and I not subdivide it. It's not a fee simple structure. That is kind of done in Raleigh. Like a lot of developers are struggling getting their product sold because there's too much of the same product on the market. Mm-hmm. So what I would do is I would make sure that you separate the lands in fee simple lots, right? Yes, they can take you a year, but it might be easier for you to sell it. Another concept we see in in Cary is if you have small lots, you do the driveways of 2 apartments, of 2 houses, you do them skinny, front to back, but then on the top, you're shifting the units to a front unit and a back unit. Now you have 2 really wide units in the top, and then you have another two, a wide unit above there for the bedrooms, and you put the staircase of both units in the middle. See what I'm saying? So now you have the bottom, you have a garage, and on the top, you're doing a front and a back unit, because everybody in Raleigh builds skinny townhomes like this. So every product looks the same. If you want to differentiate yourself, you got to do what they're doing in Cary. 1 car garage, skinny lot, and then do a stairs up that goes upstairs in the middle, and then you have a front unit and a back unit. And now you look completely different. Instead of having a skinny unit, you're having a unit that can be, instead of 2 15 feet wide units, you have now 2 garages that are 15 feet wide. And then on top, you have a unit that is 30 feet wide and maybe 10, 15 feet deep. But you have it wide. And people like wider than skinny, if that makes sense. So that's one thing I would do. And as far as the rent, yeah, it's a good rental area. You just got to make sure that you run your numbers, right? Like, because after you're done building, you're going to refinance it and get a DSCR loan. So you need to know at a $1,200 per month rent, how much is my DSCR loan going to be, and can I build for that? Because you want to, and a DSCR loan is looking at the lowest of the 2. What I mean with that is either if the rent is lower than the appraised value, they will go off their income.
Mm-hmm.
If the valuation is lower than the rental income, then they go off the appreciation.
All right. Well, so we're looking at renting it by the bedroom there.
Yeah, that is very common in Chapel Hill. I'm not so familiar with NC State, but I can only assume that's very common to do it as well. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Let's go
Thank
back
you.
to questions again. Brandon Stone, I've done quite a few in Fayetteville, multifamily. I just got out of a 10 unit. Congratulations, Brandon, to get out of the 10 unit. I'm trying to get out of a 10 unit in Kinston.
Yeah, that's what I was saying with Raj. I was wondering what asset class he was looking for in the multifamily, because I have not had good luck with multifamily in Fayetteville.
Now, I can tell you, I am I'm in that deal for $699, and I have an appraised value for $800. So I like it, but if I can sell it, then I'm still stuck with it. So, but hey, I hear what you're saying. I had a 10 unit, and one of the tenants was married, but slept with every guy in that apartment building. So they had a bunch of issues in that apartment building. Yeah, true story. Oh my gosh. The police showed up. And one of the guys wanted his wallet back. and her husband was there, and she tried not to say that she had the wallet, and the police went in and they found the wallet of the neighbor that apparently was in there when the husband was not there. So good stuff with 10 units. Anyway, Brendan and I are not promoting multifamily right now. Brandon, Mark says you can call him. Trump not allowing investors to buy single-family home. Will this affect rents and home prices? Yeah, Bipin. So I went over that. Right now there is not a law. The law right now, as it is proposed, is that investors cannot use federal funding anymore, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. So I think that's good. Those funds should be available for home buyers. We as investors can always tap into other sourcing, right? We have DSCR products, we have hard money, we have so many other type of loans that we can tap into rather than just going with the Fannie Mac and Fannie Mae. I understand that it's much cheaper, but yeah, I think I like that investors cannot tap into Fannie Mac, Fannie Mae. I think it should be available for just the buyers, regular buyers, to keep it cheaper and to keep it available. Funds there. So there's more to come on that. The jury is not out, and there's a lot of there's a lot of back and forth on that. As a matter of fact, I don't know if the government reopened, but we're currently in a lockdown. They did agree on the law, of course, but so not much is going to happen here in the next few hours. We should be reopening later this week, by the way. Justin Carr says, any thoughts on mobile home investing in the current market? Targeting semi-rural communities that are within commuter distance of larger cities. Justin, that can work. I just didn't have success with that, and I would just be very careful with what you're offering and how you offer. I don't know if you know anything about mobile investing, but do you need to get a DMV title, or is it a modular home where you need to make sure that you have the tag on there? Also, if you do mobile home investing, make sure that it has not been moved more than once. It can move from the factory to the regular land. And if it has moved one more time after that, any buyer will struggle finding traditional funding on that. So then you're stuck with the unit. That happened to me. So that's why I'm talking from experience, right? So rural areas can work. Just make sure you stay conservative. There's not as much competition in rural areas right now as there is in high density areas. It's not like it was in COVID that everything would sell. Right now, when inventory is rising and people have more, different products on the market, your competition for rural can be a little bit less. So just be careful. It can work, but again, do your research. Make sure that the title is clear and that the property hasn't moved more than twice, so to say. That doesn't matter to you, but it will matter to somebody that is looking for financing on that property. Marty says, I'm a wholesaler, I'm in the wholesale chapter, but I rarely see the terms discussed in the investors committees. Does a wholesale go by another name, or it just make it? Marty, come off of mute and tell me what you're talking about.
So I'm kind of looking at houses on the lower end that I can get back on the MLS really quick and get them just up to the point of eligibility for traditional financing. Just to kind of make some quick capital is my plan. But when I started to see that term wholesale, I was like, I've never really heard of that. And, there's podcasts and all that on it, but I don't really see it. I don't see that concept really branded or discussed in our region. So I don't know if people have been doing that all along and they just call that something different, or if that's more of like a rental flip strategy.
Lipstick on a pig or easy flip. If you're looking for stuff like that, you go to Zillow and you do handyman. I had once last year I had a presentation in Tria. I had like 18 acronyms that you can use or search terms that you can use, but it's handyman, investor special, or motivated seller, and all of that stuff. So And this will tie in a little bit to what Brandon Stone is asking me here in a second. So what you need to do is you need to know your market.
Yeah.
And so you have heard me say, start with one zip code, and from there go to another zip code, and from there go to another zip code. Not like, oh, today I'm only focusing on 27603, and then tomorrow I'm focusing on 27604. No, what are the UDOs? What are the what can I do? What is the average home sale price in that area, and then try to go below there, and then try to either flip it or put paint on it. So that's what I do. Mark, who's on this call, Mark did a great job. He got a deal from a wholesaler. He paid $615 for it. His rehab cost is $50,000, and the ARV is at $850. And he's going to be in the deal from start to finish. The rehab is going to take 3 weeks, right? So,
Where'd you get that?
Yeah, but he got that deal, and I looked at the deal, and I was like, that doesn't look anything special to me. But he got the deal because he knew the market. It is around the corner from his house, so he knows the market. So he knew when he saw that deal, I got to jump on that. And has been always my entire philosophy with knowing your zip code. You need to know before anybody else, when something hits the market, that you be like, oh, I got to get it, or I don't, right? So if you do the wholesale deal, that can work, but it can only work if you know that particular market very, very well.
Yeah, I've been studying Johnston County for a little while now, but really closely lately. And Selma kind of seems like, certain parts of Selma at least seem like it's kind of ripe for that wholesale approach, because they tend to seem to have more emphasis on land than they do on the cosmetic side of it. Not to say that I wouldn't make it nice looking, but there's some sacrifices I can make.
And Johnson County is large, and what Johnson County, what applies in Clayton does not apply in Smithfield and Selma, right?
Exactly.
So be even nicher. Just go one zip code at a time, and know in that zip code, know your bad neighborhoods, know your good neighborhoods, and know your average square foot price to sell.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So Brendan, and I'm skipping over Tiffany. I'm coming back to Tiffany. So Brendan, that guy, what I just said, Brendan is asking the question: when do you consider adding square foot to the existing building? So Brendan, by accident, I became the largest property owner in 5 Points, North Raleigh, and I'm doing exactly that. So this house was offered to me, and this is what I paid for it in June of last year. Let me see if I'm lying to you. No, June of last year. And if you look at this, you're like, what are you doing with this? Is it in the historic district? So there's not much, or there is something you can do with it, but it will require work. The reason we got it in June and haven't done anything to it is we're going to be adding on to the back, and I'm pulling it up in Monday.com. So let that load a little bit. Another one that I did, and this is also around the corner from 5 Points. This one, I looked at this one for a half a year and finally figured out what to do. And in the meantime, it stayed on the market. So it stayed on the market for a long, long time. Here, back on the market, came back, and I looked at it. So what am I doing here is, again, this goes back to what Marty was asking me earlier, is you need to know your neighborhoods. Oh, there it is. So let me show you. Oh. I'm pulling up my architect designs here real quick. So for the Davis property that I just showed you, we are going to be changing the entire building. I know this is the entire permit set, but this is what the front is gonna look like. Let me see if I can have something where the architect. No, let me see. Trying to show you what we're doing, but anyway, we're mixing. Oh, this is the permit set. Here you go. We're mixing modern in with very old or older, the history. So if what you can see here, let me zoom in. Here you go. So what you see here is the existing house will be pushed forward. This is the existing house right here. We're adding on a garage in the back, and I want to show you the entire design. But all of this. Oh, I got it wrong here. But all of the deals, most of the deals. So I did $17.2 million in new loan last year, and the majority of those deals, I think 2 or not. The other deals were straight off the MLS because I knew what I could be adding on. I knew what I could be building in that area, or somebody in my team knew that, or I teamed up with somebody, right? So. Who was doing the deal around in Raleigh? I have some students rentals there. Joshua was looking at doing the deal in Raleigh. So Joshua and Brandon Stone connect. Tiffany says, how would I go about determining the cost to build? Would I reach out to GC or an architect? You can reach out to builders. Now, what you need to know is, what is your final product? What are you going to put down, right? You will not get. It's kind of a cat and a mouse game, because you're trying to make an offer and you need to know what your cost to build is. But a builder is not going to give you a cost to build if you don't have a full permit set and if you don't know what you're exactly going to build. But to get a full permit set, you have to go to the city. You gotta get permits. You gotta get approval. The city is gonna push back. So it's kind of this cat and mouse game. So here's how I do it. If I'm building an entry-level product, I count an entry-level product like I'm building on Breck Street. My entry-level product is around $160 or $170 a square feet. Right? That's just what I calculate. If I'm doing an high level, I just run it at 220 a square feet. Now, often does the 220 come down, but if I aim high in my cost and I low in my ARV, there's a good chance that I will make money on the end. So building can be tough a little bit because you need to get permits, you need to get a survey, you need to get an architect. And all of those things cost money before you can, and ideally you close after that. There have been deals that I closed when I didn't have permits, I didn't have any of that, but I kind of knew from the city feedback what I could build. So what people don't anticipate, and I have a mentor program where I help people, but what people don't anticipate is that the cost up front is at least $30,000 for an architect, depending on the product you do. It's at least $2,000 to $3,000 for a survey, depending on the lot size. You have to pay permits to the city, which can be anywhere between $5,000 to $15,000. You have to do tap fees and all that. And then the lender says, okay, now you have done something. Yeah, it's like Joshua said, it's a lot more money, I disagree with more risk to build because the profit is also larger, but it's heavy money up front. You gotta have the money, or you need to be able to raise the money and secure somewhere else, right? So Tiffany, I'm not sure if that answers your question, but yeah, it's a weird cat and mouse game that you're playing, definitely in your first one. So yeah.
Yes, thanks, Eric. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Going back to where you were, Joshua says, Brandon, give me a shout. Brandon, blah, blah, blah. Mark says, Brandon Stone, 29 units, building. Brandon Nell says, hey, Brandon, okay, you guys are doing deals. I love it. That's what you should be doing. And a nasty plug, come to TRIA. If you're not a member yet, there we come to the main meeting, present your deals. Anyway, Joshua says, is there anyone there has known land flips for sale in Raleigh, Apex, Cary? No, Josh, they don't, because they're going to send that to me. Raleigh is me. You can have the rest. Brett says, I have a couple of homes recently purchased and plan doing a major reno in addition. I am getting a mixed ARV from all different realtors. Brett McRae. I don't like using realtors in different cities. So come off mute or whatever, but I would find a realtor you trust in that particular area. And here's why. One of my realtors, I mentioned Lisa Coleman, but another realtor I have is Monarch Realty in downtown Raleigh. Another friend of mine built on a street in Raleigh. And I said, a friend of mine is building there. Let me go and build there too. And he came up to me and said, do not do that. That street will not sell. My friend is still trying to sell that deal and is driving the entire market around him down with the ARV. You know, Monarch Realty says, I believe Maple Street has more killings than all over Wake County. That street used to be the hot sheet or the hot street for killings. Yeah, my Durham realtor who can sell property in Durham does not know those nuances. So, Brett, I don't know where your properties are, but
both of these are in Durham. They're in two different zip codes, but both in Durham. I got both of them off market. I've gotten offers for them and making a nice profit on one of them anyway, over $100,000 offer as is.
Then go.
But I want to. I got the plans and everything. I haven't permitted it yet to do an addition and just renovate it. But I just don't know that ARV. I'm trying to figure out how can I reach out to one of the guys. I think you gave me his name, Ivan. I think it's Ian.
Yeah, I just put it in here again. Ian for me has been dead on with his ARV. Ian grew up in Durham when nobody wanted to be in Durham.
And so Ian gave me something, and his was I thought it was conservative, and then it hit the two houses right in the same neighborhood, sold for a lot more than what he was saying, and they were less appealing. They didn't have a good flow, and that's one of the reasons why I want to renovate it. It doesn't have a good flow. It's an older house. One of them is built in 1940.
Yeah,
I want to upgrade some things in it, but I lost a little confidence in Ian just because the other houses that sold, they would have undersold if they would have been listing at what he thought they should be listing per square foot.
And I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, no, I trust Ian blindly. Now, many factors can come in. Maybe and one of the factors can be he did a wrong CMA. But you know, is the house smaller? Is the house larger? Does it have more bedrooms? Doesn't have a garage, a detached garage? So it's hard for me to say based on I need to see the two properties, but there are certain things that play into like, hey, why would something sell quicker than another, right? Like, I'm sometimes surprised that I have 3 listings in Durham. None of them are turning, but I see houses around me that are much more expensive, turning much quicker. And why is that? I don't know. I did a full rehab. I get only positive feedback, but on one of my flips, my yard is super small, and all the homes that are selling have a bigger yard, right? So I got to be realistic in the data. Yeah, so I trust Ian. He's been a hustler for me in that area. But if you want, share with me your property and the 2 others that shared it. I can see what if they're even similar or not, or give you my 2 cents if that helps.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, but
If you like to
Um,
sell them, you know.
Josh might buy them from you the way they
Yeah,
are.
if you like to sell them where they are,
Where
plug
are they
in the
located?
address.
One of them is in neighborhood Forest Hill, and the other one is in Duke Park.
Oh, I like Duke Park. I love Duke Park. Love it. You want to sell it?
We can talk about it. I'll tell you, my situation is more a passion. I did early retirement, and I like new construction. But I took these on really as giving me something to do. So, but we can talk. I'll put my number in the chat so you can give me a call maybe tomorrow sometime.
Yeah, and Josh also has a building company. So if you don't use him to sell it, maybe he can build them for you and as your builder.
Thank you, Eric.
Hey.
You know, with that being said, you can have Raleigh.
Again, I'll drink for free sometimes coming up. Anyway, those were all the questions that I can see here. Is there any other questions on the call? You guys have given me a lot, and I appreciate it. But we're not done yet for a while. So, what else?
How do you?
EDU?
No. I was trying to figure out how to phrase. I was trying to figure out how to phrase the question. Okay, here we are.
Yeah.
Now it seems like I'm everywhere in it, but this is the development side of our another company we got, the development company. How are you with big lots, big houses inside of, like Johnston County? And Johnston County is bold. So let's say Clayton, like you're doing a estate type houses, something on 5 to 7 acres, and it's like 3 to 4,000 square foot, $2 million plus products.
So
what are your
what is
thoughts
the
outside
question?
of that?
Would you build smaller or larger? What is the question?
Would that be something you focus on? Like you buy a big chunk of land and like something around 50 acres, you subdivide it up, get about 10 lots out of it, and start building luxury homes up there?
If that would be a play for me in the future, right now I would subdivide a lot and sell them as paper lots. So I would go to a friend of mine at church. That's all he does, and he's very successful and does it in the Dunn area. All he does is buy farmland, makes paper lots, takes him a few years, and makes several 7 figures per deal in an area where I don't know how he does it, but right. It's very tedious. Paper lots, for those that don't know what it means, is that you get the permits, that you get the fee simple lots, so that if you have one big lot, you go to the city or the county and subdivide them, so that the builder that comes in within the building process, subdividing the lots takes the longest amount of time and can tie up a lot of cash from a builder. So what Josh and I are just talking about is like, hey, if you do paper lot, you go through that entire process with the city, and then you can sell that one lot that you now have separated. You can sell it to one builder, and you can sell it for a lot of profit, but it will take 1 or 2 years to get
take
it
a
done.
couple of years and 6 figures.
But you don't have to move anything. No, you don't have to move any dirt, and you don't have to do utilities. You just getting the permits. That's all you do. So that's what I would do, Josh. But I don't know I know you always have a lot going on, but at this point, where the real estate market is right now, cash is king. If you can make 100,000 on a deal, and you need the money, I don't know what your situation is, but right now, I would take the 100,000 and say, thank you, I'm good. I got my money in my bank, and go from there. The reason I say that is, I'm very bullish on the Raleigh market. I'm very bullish on certain markets in the real estate. The real estate is not going to crash, but in the same breath, I'm also keeping an eye on what is the Fed going to do, because if short-term rates are going to go down, long-term rates will creep up and make it even more unaffordable for people to buy houses. So that's a little bit the uncertainty that I feel within the market. So George, get the land, subdivide it. And then and then you can go from there, right? And then go and say, okay, now I have the time to build it or sell it off and make some money.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Of course, development is in there. I was just curious if you would take it all the way through, because it's almost like creating your own comps, and it's a little bit more, a lot more risk on it.
And I'm looking, and we might not be looking at the same deal, but I'm looking at a larger deal in around State University as well. And I'm exactly thinking about doing that. Just buy it from the guy, subdivide it, and say somebody else can build it for me. So,
Well, if you're looking to do that around that area, I'm heavily bullish on that. So send it to me. Send it to me.
yeah, show it. Any other questions?
Mhm. How are you finding your deals? Here we go.
MLS here. Shall I show you what I did Friday? You could have taken it.
I get, I send offers on deals that, seem like they'll work out with this number and get slapped down every time.
Yeah. Hold on. So I told you guys about that realtor that says that called my realtor up and said, if your client doesn't perform, please let me know.
Mm-hmm. Huh. You offer full price?
Offered and the lot next door, 1.15 on it.
Oh.
So no, a little cheaper than that. But I give them a good DD that they wanted. So yeah.
Are you gonna try and move that house too?
Oh no, I'm not going to move that house. No, good question. Mark is referring to I'm working. Since September. I'm trying to get permits to move a house from one lot to another lot, literally 50 feet across the street. When I do that, it will be on the TRIA website, and I hope you all come out. It will be an exciting morning. We'll have a ton of fun. Maybe I bring some champagne so we can do some mimosas. But it's been dreadful. It's been dreadful to getting permits. But guys,
you could also smash a bottle of champagne on the side of the house before it takes off 50 feet.
I might if there's enough, I'll definitely do that. But again, guys, it is in this area, Oberlin Village. I don't know why this doesn't want to. I don't know what's going on right now, but anyway, look at the prices here in this area.
And you're only doing 2.2 million, you said?
There's going to be two houses for 2.2. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but listen, see what I'm trying to tell you is 2.1 here. I don't know why it's so zoomed in. I must have done something wrong. Oh, there you go. Look, this is at 1.1. This is the cheapest so far that you can find. So again, I am high, but I'm still cheap for the neighborhood, right? Here's your 2.1. This is a beautiful house, by the way. But anyway, so yeah.
That's a beautiful house.
Yeah, it is a beautiful house. Yeah. Not mine, not yet. Home by Dickerson, somebody. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Justin Carr, for newer investors with limited cash, would you recommend a flip strategy or a landlord strategy? Flip. And be careful what you. 2016, when I got started, it was a really great market to be a landlord. There were not so many landlords. The rules and restrictions were different. Gosh, now my 13-year-old daughter owns a rental, and my 10-year-old sons are about to own a rental. So everybody on the planet will have a rental. And like Warren Buffett said, if people run away, you run towards it, right? Like if people run away from the stock market, you run to the stock market because you can buy it cheap. If everybody, I don't know how he said it, but I think he said if your cab driver tells you to buy a certain stock, you sell it, right? So right now, everybody is buying rentals, so the competition is higher because rentals are a great tax strategy. What I'm doing, what I would recommend you as well is do a flip. Make sure you have at least 10% or a minimum of $30,000 profit. Otherwise, do not do it. You open one wall, that 30,000 is gone. You have to hold it longer. Your 30,000 is gone. And the rental you're going to keep is the third flip. So you do 3 flips, and then thank you, Raj. That's exactly what he says. Be fearful when everybody's greedy, and be greedy when everybody's fearful. Thank you. So you do 3 flips, and the last flip you keep. I have a ton of issues, and I almost lost my business in 2024 because all my rentals needed work. Most of my rentals became vacant, and the rentals, and I'm not on wood right now, the rentals that do the best right now are the ones that I completely flipped from plumbing, electric, and HVAC and roof. I hear nothing. The cash flow great. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting out of the rental industry that I have, and any rental I'm keeping is either a flip I did very, very well, or a new build that I built, and I'm keeping it for 5 years. So just if I can give you one piece of advice, and be very careful what you purchase as a rental, and make sure that all the maintenance has been done in the last 5 years. Otherwise, an HVAC goes out and you're making $300 positive cash flow on a rental, it takes you 24 months to recoup. If the tenant doesn't leave, if the plumbing doesn't have issues, if the roof doesn't have issues. So you want to make sure that all your CapEx expenses have been fixed recently. Does that make sense, Justin?
Yes, it does. I appreciate you for sharing that insight. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to discourage you from getting started, but you say your cash is limited, so build up cash by selling at least 2 rentals, 2 flips, and keep the third as a rental. And now you put more cash in your pocket. And I'm not saying that you say this, but anytime I underwrite a deal, this $1.1 million deal that I do on Van Dyke Street scares you. Part of my friends, but scares the shit out of me, right? I don't have 1.1 million. I wish I did, but I can tell myself the easy thing and say, I don't have it. I can do it. I won't do it. And my brain shuts off. And what I always tell myself is, how can I do it? And find a way to do it, right? So don't let what I wanted to point out in the way you say it is, I have very limited cash. Don't let that ever be an issue. There's more cash. There's more cash with the members of TRIA. There's more cash with getting into real estate than you and I can spend combined together.
Got it. Thank you.
Find an amazing deal and cash. You don't know my story maybe, but I had $50 in my name. I was on food stamps when I got started in real estate because I had a really good eye for finding really good deals. So people just threw money at me, and I never paid for a deal myself.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's fun you share those insights because some of them we've unfortunately had to learn the hard way in acquiring our first deal, which was done a couple years ago. In a position now where we're exploring the thought of jumping back out there, but it can be intimidating at times based on those lessons that we learned, and as mentioned, kind of the limited cash on hand that we have. But I thank you for sharing your story, and also appreciate those insights as well.
Absolutely. So focus on hot markets. If it's hard to buy, it's easy to sell. If it's easy to buy, it's hard to sell. Focus on that. Then secondly, don't go over 70%. You heard me saying it throughout the conversation. I have a hard stop with new build at 100,000. That means if it's making me a profit of 90,000, I'm not even looking at it. Make sure that you keep that hard line for yourself as well. Don't make concessions in the money you're going to be making because you will be losing it. I lost in 25 and 24, I did flips, and I had to bring 19,000 or 20,000 to the table on some flips that I sold because I got too cocky, I got too arrogant, and I underwrite too high, and my cost too low, right? And I hate if that would happen to you because real estate is a fantastic market. It's not an easy, I'll get rich overnight, but it's one of the easiest way to get rich overnight. If you just do it the right way.
Got it. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Sorry, I get off my preaching stool, and sometimes I'll go on a little bit. Anything else from anybody else?
How did Wilmington do for you? Or how do you still feel about Wilmington fix and flipping?
Yeah, so the data is there. Very good question, Josh. Data is there, but you got to know your areas. I would stay very close to the boardwalk. There we go.
Okay.
Again. Here comes my map. There's the park, Brett. Wilmington.
Brad's
So,
gonna
right-
sell Duke Park. I think he should. Write to me. I think he should.
I'll get a 10%.
Of
before-
course.
Anyway, Wrightsville Beach. I mean, if you have that money, you buy in Wrightsville Beach. What I'm talking about is, so we know that the battleship is here. This is the boardwalk. So try to stay. Don't go too far here. Try to stay within this square here between Dawson and Market. Market is the closer you are to Market, the better. I did 3 flips in here, south of 17th Street, or what is it, east, west, whatever, of south of 17th Street becomes a little bit more dangerous. Then you have some pockets in here where there is like a country club somewhere in here. Universities here, but Wilmington can be very good, but you gotta know your areas and look for floodplains in that area.
How do you find GCs you trust out there?
If you know one, let me know. We did several interviews. We promoted several times. Right now, I got a Raleigh GC driving back and forth, but my flip took 9 months, where it should have taken 4 months because of that. So, yeah. Yeah, here it's this
We
one.
just send crews down there.
Yeah, same crew as I'm using in Raleigh. It's basically new build because the only thing that is it's new in this one is the I mean the siding is new too, but basically the foundation is completely new. The inside is new. The roof is new. Everything is new. You can see by the yard that they completely tore this place up. But yeah.
Wow.
My kids were in this house and they threw a rock through the subfloor. So that's how bad this was.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's
And you did very good. You did really good on these.
Thank you.
Yeah, it looks lovely.
Yeah, but the time, I hate the time. I was going to make more than I'm now. So, but hey, you live, you learn. But again, that's why instead of in 24, my coach said to me, 25 was your rebirth of your company, because in 24 I was all over, and in 25 I went so incredibly niche. And like I told you before on this call, I simplified my business, and now I'm looking to make more money than I've ever had in 2026. So yeah.
Wow. So you will have that 1.1 million, if not more.
I don't have it in my bank account.
Not yet.
Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate you. But that's why we'll celebrate all together. We'll celebrate when we move the house. We'll get some mimosas, and we don't go out there. My friends, when I tell them I'm drinking mimosas, they call me Erica. But let them have fun. I like it. We'll have some good time. So, Brandon is asking, any trustworthy GCs were in the GCs? Reach out to Brandon Knowles. Come to the vendor fair of TRIA. You find a few there. Josh, I was about to tell you, you need to sign up as TRIA sponsor. I think you are free, but you need to have a table there, by the way.
I think we got it already.
Okay.
I hope.
I'll follow up with you on that after the call. Anything else from anybody?
I don't know if anyone is looking for a lot. I have access to a lot. It's a friend of mine. I was looking at Brendan. I don't know if you guys are interested in it. I was looking at it, but I bought a couple of other ones. This one's in Chatham County. It's on the other side of it's on around, it's off of 64. They're wanting $350 for the lot. The homes in there are selling between 2 and 3.5 million. So I
Send the
don't know.
address.
Yeah.
Send.
Josh, I'm going to put you on mute. Hold on. You can't hear Josh anymore? Send me the address.
Brad,
Yeah,
we've already been in talks via text. Send the address.
So this is there's actually 2 lots, and one's 350, the other one's 375. But I'll send
Eric,
it to you.
We can build right beside each other. You know.
And we
2
do,
lots are perfect for it.
we do like
There
a
you go.
basement that connects, so we have we can watch football together.
And
That's
Eric,
right.
if you're looking for a builder, I know a guy.
Brandon Knowles, guys, Brandon Knowles. Brandon Knowles, you should come to the vendor fair as well. Josh, I don't see you there, so make sure you are getting registered.
I will make sure.
Yep. Yeah. Lions will be at the vendor fair. Nice, awesome. Hi, Brad McRae. You got my email. I'll share it with Josh as well. It's outside my area, but I like to look at what you're sharing in Chatham County. And if Josh doesn't do it, I might have some other people that might go in that direction as well.
Okay.
And for all your builders, and this is so Tria, you will see. Last thing I'll say tonight. With Tria, you're going to see a change. I don't know if it was public news yet, but I'm the president, and I want to change Tria to growth. We have been growing over the years, but I want to change a few things. So what you're going to see is we're going to be changing things, and only members that have we did a mobile home group. We're doing a builders group. We're doing a few very specialized meetups. We're going to be starting. We're doing newbies. We're doing a few other things, but only paid members can join these groups, and they need to qualify for this mastermind. Builders, you qualify for this mastermind. I would definitely, if I was you, sign up. Matt adds a ton of value to it. For other people that are not builders but are in different things, make sure you keep an eye out for Tria, because only members can join these very special groups. And we're working on the logistics and working with a professional marketing to change it. But you're going to see a lot of change in Tria. We're going to add more value to your life, and it all for $200 per year, which I think is for what you're getting is absolutely dirt cheap. So. If you're a builder, sign up for this.
How much is it, Eric? I ain't got the kind of money.
Tria is $20 a month. Yeah, you have no $200 per.
I might need to borrow it.
Your toilet paper is printed on $100 bill. But anyway, Tria is $20 a month or $200 a year. I would sign up for the $200 a year, save yourself $40. Again, I was on food stamps when I did that. And it was the last 200 that I had. It was my best 200 that I spent. The Lord pointed me in a direction. I was like, "Hey, spend your money here, and from there, I'll have a direction for you." So make sure that you do that. Yeah, Bill will be there. The CPA. If you're still looking for a CPA, come to the vendor fair. I cannot promise that he is still has seats available, but you can talk to him at the vendor fair.
The vendor fair is when?
Vendor fair is on the 12th of February, so it doesn't interfere with your date night for Valentine. But you can come home and you get a free pen, you get a free hat, and you have a gift for Valentine's now.
That's right.
Eric, I don't have your sorry, I don't. Can I find your email on the Tria website?
I'm in the chat right now. Erik@rrprental.com. No plural. Erik at
Okay. I got you.
Oh, thank you, Bill. I should have mentioned that. tomorrow night, last thing, I keep saying last thing, but we have a new Wake Forest host, Bill and Laura Bourbonnais. They will be talking about, oh gosh, I wish I was there, but I have the Triad board meeting. 5 strategies that can save you money in this tax season, guys. They did a main meeting. Yeah, if you have nothing to do tomorrow night, which you need to be coming to their house in Wake Forest and talk. Listen to Bill. Bill has, throughout the conversation I had with him, given me some nuggets that were very helpful, and that I'm now telling my CPA. Don't tell Bill that, but that's what I'm doing. Anything else, guys? We're running nicely long. I love it. You guys are engaged. You guys, Bill is going to send an info. Shoot, I thought I said it on mute. You guys are engaged. You guys are ready to go. I would invest, and I have told you that before. I would invest definitely if you believe that the Fed is going to lower interest rates and going to make it more affordable for the average Joe to buy a house. You need to get in before anybody else gets in. Just do it. Be underwriting conservatively, run your ARV low, but get in. Guys, thank you so much. Have a good evening. Thanks for joining. This was the meetup, the Q&A for TRIA on the 2nd of February. We do it the first Monday again in March, and we do it 11 times a year. I hope to see you 11 times. Justin, Laura, Bill, thank you so much. Raj, and anybody else was on this call. Marianne, Tiffany, anybody, thank you for your time. Appreciate you being here. Marty, Tori, guys, thank you so much. And oh yeah, I shared the mood board and the material list last week.
Yes, thank you for that. I'm looking at them right now. These are awesome. Exactly what I was looking for.
What's the mood board?
Yeah, thank you for that.
I opened another can of worms. I was so close, so
Sorry.
close.
You was so
close to my bourbon.
So close. And
So
I was
close.
hovering over the red button, but it's too late. It's too late. I'm so sorry.
A mood board. So
Sorry, I'm going to choose a little bit.
It
was nice to see that he meant what he said when I asked on the last Q&A for some samples, and I got them, and I was like, he means what he says, and they're good.
Yeah, they're really good.
So we create mood boards so that we can go to a builder and say, this is the mood that we want to try to create. So these are different mood boards that we have. We
Can you
update
send that to me?
Sure, absolutely. So these so what you do is you kind of describe what you're going for. You have the colors in here, but if they are not able to find that at their preferred supplier, you now know, hey, I'm looking at an hexagon. It's an hexagon. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this type of color, and these are colors that we're currently implementing in some of our flips as well. Mark, I don't know if you're on the call, but this is a color we're going to be seeing back at our vanities. We're actually doing this we're working with Mark on that carry flip. These are the colors that we're actually implementing there with some black as well. This is very hot. Natural colors are coming back. Grays are getting out. Be careful for that. So grays are making the way out, as you can see here. But yeah, mood boards. If you want it, yeah, my email is in the chat and I can share it with you.
Okay.
Guys, have a good evening.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.